March 1945, Germany. A 68-ton King Tiger tank rolls forward, its armor so thick it seems impossible to destroy. The German army is confident. In Berlin, Hitler smiles and says, "The bazooka, just a child's toy." But on the battlefield, one American soldier kneels down, lifts a bazooka onto his shoulder, and takes aim at the invisible tank. One shoot, just one shot, the King Tiger exploded into a fireball. Now the question is, what is just luck, or the moment that changed the war forever? March 7, 1945, Remagen, Germany. A bridge stands when it was supposed to be gone. American troops are running across the Rhine, fast, desperate, unstoppable. And on the other side, Nazi Germany's most feared weapons is rolling in King Tiger. 68 tons of steel, thick armor, built to crush anything in their path. Back in Berlin, Hitler laughed. He called the American bazooka a child's toy. But out here, a single GI takes aim. One shot, one moment, and the invisible tank explodes into a fireball. What happened next will change the battlefield forever, because suddenly every Hagru hide a killer. March 7, 1945, 3:18 p.m. Remagen, Germany. The sky is low and grey, pressing down like a lid on a boiling pot. Gunfire cracks across the Rhine. You hear it before you see it. The deep metallic ground of steel under stress. The Litten Grove Bridge shudders as German demolition change fail to do their job. Smoke billows upward in thick, choking columns drifting across the river like a curtain half drawn. And then American boots hit the planks, fast, urgent, relentless. Men from the U.S. 9th Armored Division spread across the bridge, rifles clutches tight, eyes wide with disbelief. This wasn't supposed to happen. The bridge was supposed to be gone, reduced to twisted iron and sinking rubber. But it isn't. It stands, and now everything is about to change. On the eastern bank, German engineers scramble in panic. Wires are ripped, detonators are checked again and again. Nothing. The charges had fired, but not enough. The bridge still holds. A young German lieutenant screams order, his voice cracking. Machine gun crew open up. Bullets stitching across the river, sparking against steel girders. But the Americans keep coming. You can almost feel their heartbeat, fast, pounding, disbelieving. This is the moment, the impossible moment. The first American foothold across the Rhine, far away deep beneath the earth in Berlin, inside the suffocating concrete walls of the fire bunker. A very different sound echoes laughter, short, sharp, dismissive. Adolf Hitler leaned over a war map, his fingers trembling, not with fear, but with fury barely contained. His generals stand around him, stiff as statues, eyes fixed anywhere but his face. The Americans, the martyrs, almost amused. They think this changed the war. A pause, then with a thin smile. They are children. He taps the map. Remagen, the bridge ahead. They will be crushed. The room is thick with tension. One general dared to speak quietly, carefully. Mean farewell. Report indicate American infantry are establishing defensive position. Anti-tank teams, including rocket weapons. Hitler cuts him off with a flick of his hand. Bazookas. He scoffs. The word itself sounds like an insult, a toy, a child's firework. A few nervous chuckles rippled through the room, but they died quickly because no one here truly believes that anymore. Not after Normandy, not after the ordinance, but no one say it. No one ever say it. Back at Remagen, the situation is already spiraling. American engineers are swarming the bridge, cutting wires, throwing unexploded charges into the river. Infantry units digging along the eastern bank and scrambling for cover in shattered building and shell pocket field. The air smells of cordite and wet earth and something else opportunity. Private Edwin Duckshire crouches behind a crumbling stone wall, his breath fogging in the cold air. He is young, too young, maybe. His hands grip a long, awkward tube of metal and wiring, the M1A1 bazooka. To some, it still looks ridiculous, a pipe with a battery, a toy. But Dickshire knows better. He's seen what it can do. A sergeant beside him peers through binocular, then frees. Armor, he mutters. The word lands heavy through the haze across a narrow road leading towards the bridgehead. Something massive begins to emerge. At first, it's just a ship. Then it's become something else entirely, a monster. The ground trembles, slow, deliberate, crashing. A Panzer Kampfwagen Tiger Ausf B, better known as the King Tiger, rolls forward, its massive turret scanning like the eye of predator, 68 tons of steel, frontal armor over 150 mm thick, a gun that can kill anything. It's seen from over a mile away. It is, by every measure, unstoppable. German infantry move alongside it, confident now, reassured. This is how it's supposed to go. Still leading, flash following. The Americans, they will break. They always break when the Tigers came. Duckshire swallows hard. You can almost feel the weight pressing down on him, not just the tank, but the myth of it. The stories, the fears. King Tigers aren't just machines, they are legends. The sergeant lowers his binocular slowly. That's your target. Simple words, but they carry everything. Duckshire adjusts a bazooka on his shoulder, the cold metal beating through his uniform. His assistant slides a rocket into the rear of the tube with a practiced motion. Click, lock, ready. The Tiger keeps coming close now. You can hear the engine, a deep, grinding roar. You can see the tracks chewing through mud and debris like it's nothing. Its turret begins to turn, searching, hunting. Duckshire exhausts, slow, controlled. Training takes over. Find the weak point. Side armor, rear armor. Not the front, never the front. The Tiger shifts slightly as if navigates a bend in the road. For just a moment, it exposes its flank. Time slows. You can feel it. This is it. Duckshire tightens his grip. The sergeant's voice cuts through the noise. Take it. And somewhere far away in Berlin, a man still believes this weapon is a joke, a toy, a child firework. Duckshire excuses the trigger, but what happens next will shatter that illusion forever. The rocket leaves the tube with a violent curve, a flash, a burst of smoke, a trail of fire ripping through the cold March air. For a split second, nothing exists except that streak of death cutting straight towards 68 tons of German steel. You can almost follow it with your eyes, too fast, too precise, too late to stop. The King Tiger's turret is still turning when the rocket hits impact, a sharp metallic crack like a hammer striking a bell the size of a house. But this is no ordinary explosion. There's no massive outward blast, no dramatic Hollywood fireball. Instead, something far more terrifying happens. The shaped charge detonates inside the warhead. A focused jet of molten metal forms in an instant, superheated, concentrated, unstoppable. It doesn't smash the armor, it pierces it like a needle through cloth. The jet punches through the tiger's size armor, through steel, through space, through men. Inside the tank, everything changed in less than a heartbeat. The crew never see it coming. 1 second, orders are being shouted, instruments are humming, the massive gun is adjusting for its next kill. The next, white hot metal slices through the interior like a lightning bolt. Fuel ignites, ammunition cook off, pressure builds, and then the tiger erupts. A violent burst of flame punches out from the turret ring, followed by a deafening explosion that shakes the ground beneath your feet. The hatch blows open like a kick door, and a column of black smoke spirals into the sky. For a moment, the unstoppable machine just stops frozen, silent. Then the fire takes it. German infantry nearby dive for cover, their confidence shattered in an instant. Some stare in disbelief, others run because what they just witnessed isn't supposed to happen. Not to King Tiger, not to that tank. Behind the stone wall, Darkshire doesn't move. He can't, not yet. The bazooka still rests on his shoulder, smoke curling from the tube. His ears are ringing. His heart is hammering. Did that just work? The sergeant is the first to react. Hit, her shouts, slamming a hand against Dakshire's helmet. You got it, you got it. But there's no time to celebrate because the battlefield is already shifting from beyond the burning wreck. More movement, more armor, shape in the smoke. Another tiger, and behind it, Panzer versus. The Germans are not done, not even close. Machine guns fire erupt against, louder now, more desperate. American infantry scrambled to reposition, dragging ammunition cracks, shouting coordinators, digging deeper into the earth, and shells begin to fall around them. The bridgehead is alive with chaos, alive with opportunity, alive with danger. Darkshire assistant is already loading another rocket, hands shaking but moving fast. Click, lock. Again the sergeant barks. Darkshire lowered the empty tube, his mind racing. He just destroyed one of the most feared tanks in the world with a weapon that was supposed to be a joke, a toy, and now there's coming again. Across the field, the second tiger advanced more cautiously, its turret swerving towards the source of the first shoot, scanning, searching for the invisible enemy that turns its brother into a burning coffin. It doesn't see man, it sees ghosts, because that's what bazooka teams are becoming, ghosts in the head grooves, hunter in the ruins, invisible until they strike. A German officer shouts orders, trying to regain control. Forward, keep moving. They cannot stop you. But there's hesitation now, doubt, fear. The myth has cracked, and once a myth cracks, it's never truly healed. Darkshire raises the bazooka again. This time his hands are steadier, not because he is less afraid, but because now he knows the tiger holds its gun slower slightly, a decision point, advance or retreat. For a moment everything hang in balance, the fate of the bridgehead, the fate of the man behind Darkshire, maybe even more than that. You can almost feel the weight of history pressing into this single instant. The sergeant leans in, voice low but urgent. Wait for the flank, wait for it. The tiger inches forward, turning, exposing just enough armor, just enough. Darkshire inhaled, slow, steady, but this time the tiger fires first. A blinding flash erupts from its gun. The shockwave slams into the ground, tearing apart the wall just meters from Darkshire's position. The stone explodes into dust and shrapnel ripping through the air like a storm of knives. Man screams. Dirt rains down. The words become noise. Darkshire is thrown backward, the bazooka slipping from his grip as the blast waves hit him like a hammer. For a moment there is nothing, no sound, no sight, just ringing silence. Then voices, distance, fading in. Get up, get up. The tiger is still there, still moving, still hunting, and now it knows exactly where they are. Lakshya forces himself up, ears still ringing, vision blurred. The bazooka lies just a few feet away. So does the next rocket. The sergeant is bleeding. The assistant is shouting something, but the words don't make sense yet. The tiger student begin to turn again, slow, deliberate, merciless. This is no longer a rest, no longer a surprise. Now it's a duel, and somewhere deep beneath Berlin, a man still refuses to believe any of this is possible. Still believes his steel beast cannot be stopped by infantry. Still believes the myth, but myth don't survive contact with fire. Darkshire grabs the bazooka, hand shaking, heart pounding, smoke filling his lungs. He has one more shot, maybe. The tiger's gun locks onto his position, and this time there will be no second chance. The world narrows to a single point, the tiger's gun, and Darkshire. The massive barrel stares against at him now, dark, hollow, final. You can almost feel the weight of it pressing into your chest. One shot from that gun, and there will be nothing left. Not of the wall, not of the man, not of Darkshire. Move! Someone screams, but there's nowhere to go, no time. Darkshire dropped to one knee, dragging the bazooka back onto his shoulder. His finger fumbled for a split second, just a split second, as the assistant slams another rocket into the tube. Click, lock. The tiger inches forward, unstoppable, unhurried, certain. Inside that steel monster, the German gunner adjusts his arm. He doesn't need to rush, not anymore. The enemy is exposed broken easy. This is how it always ends, except it doesn't. Darkshire wipes blood from his eyes with the back of his hand. His vision sharpens just enough. The tiger shifted, turning slightly to angle its armor to protect itself. But in doing so, it reveals something else, a seam, a weakness. You can almost hear the echo of training in Darkshire's mind. Side armor, lower hull, aim through. The sergeant, barely conscious, forces out a whisper, take it. The battlefield fades again, not silent, but distant. like everything else, has stepped back to watch. Darkshire exhausts slow. The tiger guns flashes, and at the exact same moment, Darkshire fires two blasts, two thunderclaps, colliding in time. The German shell shears through the air, smashing into the earth just behind Darkshire's position. The explosion drifts bodies and debris into the sky in a violent eruption. The shockwave slams into him, but his rocket is already gone. It streaks forward, straight, unwavering impact. This time there is no doubt. The shape charge hits perfectly right along the thinner side armor near the turret ring, and once again it doesn't bounce, it doesn't shatter, it burns through. Inside the tiger chows detonates instantly. The jet of molten metal punches through ammunition racks, through fuel lines, through men. There's a split second, a heartbeat, where everything hangs in the fragile balance. Then the tank explodes from within. A violent, roaring fireball erupts from the turret, flames blasting outward with terrifying force. The turret jerks, lifts slightly, then slams back down as black smoke pours into the sky. The beast is dead again. Two King's Tiger gone. For a moment, the battlefield freezes. Even the gunfire falters because what just happened shouldn't be possible. German infantry stop in their tracks. Some stare, some turn, some run, because now they understand the armor is not invisible. The tanks are not good. They can burn, and worse, they can burn fast. Darkshire collapsed backward, the bazooka slipping from his shoulder as the adrenaline drained out of him in an instant. His chest heaves, his ears still ring, but through the haze he sees it. Two burning giants, two moments of German power reduced to wreckage. The sergeant let out a weak laugh, half delirious, not a Troy. Around them, American soldiers began to rise from covers, caution, disbelieving, then louder, shouting, pointing, arms down, they are burning, push forward, and just like that, the momentum shift across the battlefield. German command begins to fracture. Radio calls overlap in panic. Tigers unit destroyed. Repeat, destroyed. Infantry taking heavy losses, requesting withdrawal. Weapons ineffective. Enemy has static, confusion, fear, because this wasn't supposed to happen. Not here, not like this. Back in Berlin, reports begin to trickle in, incomplete, fragmented, unbelievable. Another destroyed tiger, then another and another. The sword spreads faster than orders can contain it. Bazookas, the same weapon, dismissed, mocked, ignored, now feared. And Remagen, the American, pressed their advantage. Infantry surged forward, crossing open ground, taking position deeper into German territory. Engineer reinforced the bridgehead. More men pour across the Rhine. The impossible foothold became a growing wound, and everywhere, in every shattered building, every head grew, every ruined farm, bazooka team moved, quiet, patient, deadly. They don't charge, they don't announce themselves, they wait. Because now they know something the Germans are only beginning to understand. It doesn't matter how thick your armor is. Doesn't matter thick your armor if the enemy knows where to strike. But victory never comes without a price. A Darkshire is dragging back toward cover, barely conscious. The distant rumble of engine begin to grow again, different this time, more of them, not one tank, not two, a column, and these aren't cautions anymore. They are angry. Through the smoke and fire, black shapes emerge once more, German armor massing, preparing, because the reach is not finished, not yet, and what's coming next will turn this battlefield into something far worse, a proving ground where steel, fire, and fear collide again. The rumble doesn't stop this time, it grows deeper, louder, relentless. You feel in and your chest before you see them, a column of German armor pushing through the smoke, Panzers versus assault guns, and behind them, looming like executioners in the haze, more king tigers, not one, not two, a line of them, their engines roar like thunder, rolling across the earth, tracks grind over rumble, crushing brick, bone, and broken steel into dust. This is no probing attack, this is annihilation. Armor column, someone shouts, the word spreads like fire, men scramble, officers bark orders, radios crackle with urgency, but something is different now, something has changed. No one runs. Instead, American infantry melts into the terrain behind walls, inside shattered houses, along hedge crews thick with mud and roots. They disappear because they have learned, because they have seen the giant burn. A lieutenant drop into a shallow trench, grabbing a map with dirt standing hand. Hold position, he snaps. Let them come to us, let them come. It sounds insane. Faking King Tiger heat on his suicide. Everyone knows that. Everyone knew that. But now they stroud. The first German tank creased a rise, its sail hood cutting through the smoke like a blade. Its turret sweep left, then right, searching. But it sees nothing, no lines, no formation, no target, only silence. And that silence is worse than gunfire. Inside the tank, the commander narrows his eyes, scanning through periscope. Where are they? Then a flash from the side of a ruined farmhouse. A rocket erupts, a bazooka. It slams into the lead panzer for impact explosion. The tank lurches, flame bursting from its engine deck as black smoke pours out. Ambush, a German voice scream over the radio, and then hell open. Rocket is streaking from every direction, left, right, rear. The battlefield erupts into chaos as bazooka team reveal themselves all at once, hidden in hedge crews, behind stone walls, inside broken building, ghosts now made real. You can almost feel the shock ripple through the German column. This isn't a battlefield, it's a trap. Another rocket hit, then another. A second Panzer IV explodes, its turret jerking violently as flame engulfs the crew inside. Infantry scatter, diving for cover that doesn't exist. The King Tiger respond instantly. Their guns roar. Shells slam into buildings, tearing them apart in violent bursts of dust and fire. Entire walls collapse. Three splinters. Earth erupts. But they can't hit away, they can't see, because the bazooka teams don't stay, they fire then move. A team in a hedge crew fires one shot, then disappears into a drainage ditch before the return shell obliterate their previous position. Other fires from a second story window, then vanish down a staircase as the building is reduced to rubble second later. Hit, move, hide, and strike again. It's not a battle anymore, it's a hunt. And the hunters are everywhere. A king tiger turns sharply, trying to bring its frontal armor lower the threat, but as it pivots, a rocket slams into its exploded side, impact, penetration, fire. The massive tank shudders, then erupts into flames, smoke pouring from every hatch. Inside, the crew has seconds, maybe less. Another giant fall. The myth is dying now, not cracking, not weakening, dying. German tank commanders shout over radios, trying to coordinate. Advance, push through, don't stop, keep moving. But movement is the problem. Every turn, every adjustment, every explode angle is a death sentence because somewhere out there another Bakuzuka is waiting. You can almost feel the fear creeping in, not panic, not yet, but something colder, something worse, loud. A king tiger halts suddenly, its commander hesitating just for a second, just long enough. A rocket streaks in from behind a stone wall impact. The tank explodes, and now the panic begins. German infantry breaks first. Some drop their weapons and run, others crawl, desperate to escape the invisible death raining down on them. Even the tanks begin to falter, reversing, turning, trying to pull back from a battlefield that has turned against them. But it's too late because the Americans are not longer just defending, they are advancing. Riflemen push tower between burning racks, covering bazooka team as they reposition against and again. Machine guns open up, cutting down retreating infantry. Mortars begin to fire, shields to close. The German counterattack collapse, not slowly, not reluctantly, violently, and at the center of it all, burning steel, king tigers, pensive versus rack after rack, scattered across the field like broken momentum to a belief that no longer holds. That armor alone wins war, that size equals strength, that fear is enough. Darkshire, barely conscious, is laid against the shattered walls as Maddox works over him. His vision blurs in and out, but even he can see it. The battlefield has changed forever, and far away in the depth of Berlin, reports are no longer whispers, they are undeniable. Tank destroyed by infantry, repeatedly, decisively, the toy weapon, the choke, bazooka. He becomes something else entirely, a killer. But even now, even as the fires burn and the counterattack fails, there is one thing no one on that battlefield knows yet. This is only the beginning, because the fall of these giants will echo far beyond Remagen into the final day of the war itself. The fire don't die quickly, they cling to the wreck, thick black smoke twisting into the sky like signals of something ending and something new beginning. The battlefield outside Remagen is unrecognizable now, where armored giants once advanced with unstoppable confidence. There are only burning hulls, twisted steel, open hatches, silence broken only by cracking flame and distant gunfire. American infantry moves carefully among the wreckage, rifle raised, eyes scanning, because even now danger lingered. A wounded tank can still kill, a surviving crewman can still fire. One soldier pauses beside a destroying king tiger, its massive hull split open by fire from within. He stares, At it for a moment really stares, trying to understand how something is powerful could die too easy. He reached out, almost instinctively, touching the scorched steel. It is still warm, still radiating heat. Bazooka did that. Another soldier muttered behind him, not in disbelief, but in realization, and that realization spreads quietly, quickly, across the American lines. What travel faster than orders. You don't need a tank to kill a tank. Hit them from the side, wait for the turn. Simple rules, deadly results. Bazooka teams becomes the center of everything now. They are no longer just support units, they are hunters. Squads recognize around them. Riflemen provide cover. Machine gunners suppress enemy infantry. Spotters watch for armor movement. It became a system, a method, a doctrine born in fire, and its work. In the hours that follows, every German attempt to regroup meet the same fate: advance, ambush, fire, death, again and again and again. The Terran itself seems to fight against the German now. Hedge growth that once offered concealment now hide enemies. Dunes that once provided cover now become death traps. Every corner, every shadow, every broken wall, a threat. A bazooka could be there. German tanks crew begin to hesitate before entering narrow streets. They avoid turning broadsides. They scan consistently, but it's not enough because hesitation is all it takes. A fraction of a second, a slight miscalculation, a moment of doubt, and the rockets find its mark. One crew abandons their tank before it's even hit, other reverses too late, the third never see the shoot that killed them. The King Tiger, once the symbol of invincibility, becomes something else entirely, a target back in Berlin. The turn has changed completely inside the suffocating confines of the bunker. Maps are updated with grim precision. Red lines shrink, blue lines advance. Reports arrive faster than they can be proceed. Tank losers, savers unacceptable, infantry unable to hold ground, anti-tank defenses failing, and always the same word appear again and again: bazooka. Adolf Hitler doesn't laugh anymore. He stares at the reports in silence, his hand trembling, not with rage this time, but with something else: disbelief. How he mutters. No one answer, no one dare, because the answer is already there, written in fire across the battlefield. The war has changed, not with a new tank, not with a bigger gun, but with an idea that no machine, no matter how powerful, is invincible. And that idea spread faster than any army. Back with Remagen, the bridge still stands, scared, damaged, but standing, and across it they keep coming. More American troops, more equipment, more momentum. What began as a gamble is became a gateway into the heart of Germany. Lakshya lies on a stretcher now, being carried away from the front. His face is pale, his eyes half closed, but he is alive, and somewhere in his fading awareness, he knows he saw it happen. The moment of myth broke, the moment the giant fell, the moment a toy changed the war. But as the stretcher disappears into the shadows behind the lines, another sound rises in the distance. Not tank, not engine, something heavier, something deeper. Artillery, dozens of guns, and they are not aiming the battlefield. They are aiming at the bridge because if Germany cannot stop the Americans with steel, they will try to drone them in fire. The first shell begin to fall, and the fate of Remagen, of the bridge, of everything gained, hangs in the balance once more. March 10th, 1945, 6:42 a.m. Remagen. The morning doesn't arrive with light, it arrives with thunder. The first artillery shell screams overhead like a tearing sky, then slams into the far bank of the Rhine with a deafening explosion. Dirt, steel, and men are known into the air as the ground convulses beneath them, then another and another. Within seconds, the entire horizon is alive with fire. German artillery has found its range. The legend of which is sent in the center of it all, is scared, fractured, but still defiant. Every impact sends vibration through its steel skeleton, a deep, groaning protest that echoes across the river. You can almost feel it beneath your feet, a living thing under siege. American engineers cling to it like lifelines. They ran across exposed girders, ducking as the sharpener sliced through the air. Some carry planks, others haul cables. Just a few, stop long enough to look down at the river below, cold, fast, unforgiving. There's no escape there, only duty. Keep it open, an officer shouts, his voice barely cutting through the chaos. No matter that, keep it open, because everything depends on the bridge now. Everything. Behind it, thousands of American troopers are pouring across the Rhine, flooding into Germany's heart. Tanks, trucks, artillery, momentum, and the Germans know it. That's why the artillery doesn't stop. It's intensified. Shell after shell crashes into the bridge and its approaches. Shell bends, supports crack, entire section tremble under the relentless punishment. A direct hit slams into one of the towers. The explosion rips through the structure, sending chunks of concrete spiraling into the river below. For a moment, just a moment, it looks like the bridge might give away, but it doesn't. It holds. Back on the eastern bank, infantry huddle is shattered. Building and shallows foxhole, gripping their weapons as the bombardment tears the world apart around them. Among them, bazooka steam. They are not firing now. They are waiting, because even under artillery fire, they know what comes next, and right on time, the second returns. Engines, German armor, using the barrack as cover. Another counterattack began to form. Shadows move through the smoke, low, heavy, deliberate. They are trying again, trying to crush the bridgehead before it becomes unstoppable. A battered lieutenant wipes blood from his cheek and looks out through the haze. Positions the mutters, no panic, no hesitation, just readings. Because now they have done this before. The first tank breaks through the smoke. A panther this time, faster, more agile. Deadly tiger behind it, more shapes follow. The artillery begins to lift slightly, not stopping but shifting, creating a window, and in that window the battlefield breathes again. American soldiers rise from cover, rifles ready, bazookas lifted. The hunter returns. A bazooka team takes position behind the collapsed wall. Their movements quick, practice, load, click, ready. The panther advance is turret swinging towards the flickers of movement too slow. The rocket hits, impact, penetration, fire. The tank erupts in flame, its momentum dying in an instant as black smoke pours into the sky. Behind it, the German advance falters again, not stopped but shaken, because the pattern hasn't changed. Still advance, fire answers, and still loses. Across the battlefield, more rockets streak through the air, some miss, some hit, but enough connect to keep the German armor off balance. Every destroyed tank buys seconds, every second buys time, time for the bridge, time for the crossing, time for the war to end. But the artillery keeps falling, relentless, unforgiving. I still slammed directly onto the bridge deck. This time, something gave. A section collapsed inward with a deafening crack, sending men and equipment plunging into the river below. Screams cut through the chaos, swallowed almost instantly by the roar of water and fire. The bridge is falling. Engineer rushed forward again, ignoring the falling shells, trying to shore what remained. The drag beams into place. They hammer, they die, they rebuild in the middle of destruction because they have no choice. Because if the bridge falls, everything changes. Duckshire, now miles away in a field hospital, drift and end out for consequences. The distant rumbles of artillery seems even here, a constant reminder that the battle isn't covered. A nurse leans over him, adjusting bandages. You are going to be okay, she says softly, but Lakshar isn't listening, not really. In his mind, he is still here, behind that wall, bazooka on his shoulder, watching giants burn. He doesn't know if the bridge is still stands. He doesn't know if it will, but he knows one thing: it can be defended. Back at Remagen, the final blows begin to fall. Artillery, structural damage, time. At 3 p.m., the bridge groans louder than ever before, a deeper cheering sound that echoes across the line. Men freeze just for a second, then it collapses. The length of bridge falls into itself, crashing into the river in a thunderous cascade of steel and smoke. The water erupts in the structure, disappearing beneath the surface, taking debris, and lives with it. For a moment, there is silence. Then a wall rushes back in, but some time has changed, because by the time the bridge falls, it no longer matters. The Americans are already across. Pontoon bridges are going up, ferries are moving, the foothold is secure, the gateway is open, and nothing, not tanks, not artillery, not even the destruction of the bridge itself, can close it now. In the day that follow, the advance accelerates, German resistance fractures, cities fall, lines collapse, and the myth of invincibility, the belief is unstoppable, still dies completely, not with a single battle, not with a single battle, but with moments like this, moments where ordinary men with simple tools change the course of history. The bazooka was never just a weapon, it was a message that no empire, no machine, no idea is beyond reach. And in the burning field outside Remagen, that message was delivered in fire and steel. In the fall of giants, as the smoke fades from the battlefield and history turns the page, one truth remains: war is never just about victory or defeat. It is about the lives forever changed in between, the courage, the sacrifice, and the untold stories of World War II still echoes through time, reminding us how thin the line is between survival and destruction. But this is not where the story ends, because history is full of moments that are even more shocking, more emotional, and more unbelievable than what you just witnessed. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video if you believe history should never be forgotten. Comments below what shocked you the most in this battle? Share this story with someone who loves real World War II history and subscribe to the YBR, the Sword and the Story for more cinematic war stories every week. Two movie at midnight, 2100 hours, because every story we tell is a piece of history that refuses to die.